Good afternoon, children. So we were doing our fundamental right number 6, right to constitutional remedies, and we'll continue doing so because this is very important right. And I had told you Dr. Ambedkar had rightly said that this is the heart and soul of the Indian Constitution, rather of the fundamental rights. Even to the extent that he said it's not a right, it's a remedy. Because without this right, all above fundamental five fundamental rights stands meaningless, so to speak. And in this we deal with Article 32. How does this right protects us, children? I told you right in the beginning that matters related to fundamental rights, they go straight away to Supreme Court of India through appellate jurisdiction, through an appeal. So Supreme Court, they have right to issue writs, WRIT. We are on page 132, second column, please check on. So these courts can issue a writ. In your book, a definition is given, which is a copy of the definition given in the Constitution. But to understand this easily, please pay attention on what I am saying. Writ is an order, children, which either tells somebody to do something or it stops somebody from doing something. But it's a legal government, the order of the court. I repeat, writ is an order by court, which is issued by a judge, obviously, which tells somebody or an entity, if there can be a group also involved, to either do something or stops from doing something. This is the meaning of, easy meaning of the word writ. If you will go into the book, please look into it. I will read out what is written. A writ is a formal written order issued by the Supreme Court and the High Courts to provide legal remedies to individuals who do not obtain adequate protection under ordinary laws. So, as I told in the beginning, that right to constitutional remedies covers all other fundamental rights. So, in simple language, I told you the meaning of the word writ. And now, in the coming paragraph or headings, we will be reading about 5 most important writs. What is writ? You have understood. Now these important writs are, they begin from page 132, last 2-3 lines, and they continue on page 133. You might find them, these words alien, because you have never come across these words, and God forbid you should never come across. But yes, we need to know how our constitution or the court works. If you will opt for political science in class 11, you will be reading them again. Or as I told in the beginning, if some aspiring civil servants are sitting in my class, then again, if you opt for this subject, then you will be reading them again. Otherwise, you are doing it for the last time. So all these 5 writs, the names are in Latin. Why Latin? Almost or majority of English words, children, they find their roots in Latin. Why? Answer is very simple. You might be aware of this thing, your English teachers have told you this thing, that Latin was the language which was prevalent in use before the English came. So the roots of all these words we find in Latin, and here they have been taken as it is. So first writ, which begins from page 132, is of habeas corpus, and children, this is the writ which is most commonly used. I repeat, writ of habeas corpus is the writ which is most commonly used, and the literal meaning is to have a body. Now to have a body doesn't mean that I'm sorry, but we are not referring to a dead body or something. Body means person. Yeah, but this is the way it has been defined in legal language, so we talk about like this only. So it is habeas corpus, meaning is to have a body, and let's look into the book, underline them. As it is, they have to be underlined, and yes, they have to be written in the language which is there in your book. In this, for understanding purpose, yes, you can understand what I am saying, but with writs, be very careful that they have to be written as it is. These are definitions, children. So, let's begin with the second line. The High Court or the Supreme Court can get the body of any person released if it has been unlawfully detained or captured by any person or a group of persons. So I believe you can understand now why this is important. Because if somebody has been detained, held back, detained means held back, somebody you have logged that you are not allowing that person to go, so you can't do that. So if anybody has been unlawfully captured or detained, this writ allows this person to be free. Even police cannot keep it under this if court orders. Then comes mandamus. Second writ is writ of mandamus, and the meaning is we order. Now look into the book. It is a command or an order from a Supreme Court to a lower court or an administrative authority to perform a certain duty. When a higher court tells the authority or a lower court to perform a certain duty, this is writ of mandamus. Third is writ of prohibition. Under writ of prohibition we understand the meaning of this word, very well, to stop. So a writ is prohibition actually is an order issued by the Supreme Court to a lower court, say high court, to stop proceedings in their court and to bring in the matter to the high court. I repeat, a higher court, Supreme Court, higher, I'm not saying high court. Supreme Court orders a lower court to stop the proceedings here and send the case to the Supreme Court to save time. Writ of Praetori. A superior court again orders to a lower court or judicial authority to be informed about what is going on in this case. Like say some particular case, and case is pending in one of the court and they are taking too much time over there. And violation of fundamental right, children, is like a matter of life and death. So if such a matter occurs, then obviously a person who has asked for justice, demanded for justice, should be given justice. It is said justice delayed is justice denied. Though I am talking about the system over here, but this might be going on in your mind that in India it takes too much of time to settle down these courts, because number of judges and number of the cases, the ratio proportion is running into negative, so to speak. That's how it happens. So in the writ of praetori, the higher court can ask the lower court what is going on. To report, this court will report the higher court what is going on. And sometimes it is written, come back to page 133, second column. Though a superior, it appears similar to the writ of prohibition, there is a difference, underline this. Writ of prohibition is issued when certain proceedings are going on. Cases on. The writ of praetori is issued, trial is going on rather. The writ of praetori is issued after the order has already been passed by the lower court. Now comes the last, quo warranto. It means by what order. And this again, first and last, they are used frequently. Quo warranto is usually used even in the case of public offices also. And as I will read, you will understand it very quickly, that through this writ, thus prevents public officers from forcibly or wrongly holding a high public office. So if somebody tries to misuse or somebody tries to hold such that in any post for that matter, office means any post. Office of the president doesn't mean the building we are talking about the chair. So if somebody is holding any post unlawfully, then using the writ of quo warranto, that thing can be cancelled. So these were 5 writs. I repeat: habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, praetori, and quo warranto. Names are in Latin because Latin was prevailing before the usage of English started, and These you have to read very carefully and rewrite in the same language. Thank you.